Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. The problem is... What the? Like, come on! Like, his second phase is unbearable! I don't know what to do with his second phase. This is... Stupid, man. What's up, everybody? It is the Best Podcast Movement. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This game is created by Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. It's launching day and date and Game Pass. This is pretty much this year's 2023's Souls game until Liza P come out, maybe. But this one's more so closer to Neo. This takes place in like 184 AD in the Han's Dynasty era in China. A lot of legendary characters in this game. You play as a nameless, somewhat voiceless soldier. Your character pretty much has zero to no dialogue and just kind of just this person, and it's really all about the characters around you, the other characters you meet, the companions who will carry the dialogue, who will carry the story, and you're pretty much, you know, witnessing it, and you become, you know, a militia, a soldier to these characters, and you play a pivotal role, even though your character is doing all of the work, all of the heavy lifting. Some of the things this game does well is character creation. There's a lot of customization here, customized build, the skin color, hairstyles, voice, head size. They kind of went really deep into customization. You can make the character, you kind of sort of went with like a default look and adjusted some of the things that I wanted to. There's a lot of going on in this game with gear. There's a ton of gear in this game. The combat is pretty good. It's sort of, this game lives and die on its combat and its level design. The combat, even though we will put this game in the Souls genre, again, this is more like it's more like Neo rather than it's like a Sekiro. You know what I mean? The average person would take a look at this game and get Sekiro vibes. Maybe they'll get a little bit of Elden Ring vibes just on the look, the tone. But the combat is more like Neo. This is more, you know, martial arts. The gameplay is fast paced. The gameplay is not as sluggish or as janky sometimes as some of the From Software games. Now, there's things that, you know, this game got a couple of things going for it as far as, like I said, story, dialogue, and how it's told. Some of the voiceovers don't come off as, you know, genuine. It can sound goofy every now and then, but as for a game as a core, it plays great and it looks great, and I've been enjoying this game. I'm about 27 to 30 hours deep into this game. I've completed 11 of the 21 bosses, and this is where my thoughts come in. So I can't call this an actual review because the part of the game that I'm at now will honestly determine whether I continue with this game or does my trip end here. I'm probably on one of the hardest bosses in the game at the time of this recording, Lulu, who's just like this OP beast of a boss, and I think a lot of people will kind of meet their match here, and I feel like this boss, the 10th, I think it's the 11th boss of the game, will determine on the average player if they're going to continue or if they're going to give up. Now, there's some challenging bosses here and there and whatnot, but I feel like with this game, you fight them enough times, you sort of build a rhythm in a way, and you'll figure out a path to victory in almost all the fights. There's a lot going on with this game. You can bring companions into fight, you know, as you get through the levels, as you get through the stages, and you build your morale and build battlefield points, flag points. You'll meet characters. You'll have a team, and you are able to recruit players, other companions to help you get through these fights. Now when you recruit those companions, it does add like another element to the fight. The boss does get a little bit tougher, and then you got other things like specialty powers. You have different types of executions you can perform. You have wizardry moves that you can unlock, that you gain through the skill points that you earn. You can allocate those points however you like. If you want to go build up on attacks, you want to build up on like your parrying and blocking capability. You want to build up attributes to your like magic capability. A lot of these things will determine how you approach fights and how you can counter some of the fights you come across. Like there's fire-based bosses, and there's like water wizardry, water spells that you can equip that way nullify and neutralize that enemy. There's bosses that are attack heavy, and you have capabilities to, like, you know, excelling your parrying so that you are able to block and parry and counter more effectively. There's different specialty moves that you can unlock that, you know, will enhance your attacks in different way. I've built my character around to have like high health level because I didn't know how tough some of these fights would be or how bad I would struggle. So I've catered a lot of things to the ability to have a lot of health and have regenerating health, and the capability of being able to block and parry, because this is a parry heavy game, much like Sekiro, where parrying is important and you want to be able to do that to get through. If you can't parry in this game, you will not get through the game. A lot of these bosses and a lot of these fights require you to parry a lot and be very effective at it. You can't miss it. So there are things you can get, different gear you can wear, different weapons you can get, different weapons you can upgrade, different specialty moves you can do that can improve your ability to parry, to improve your health, and improve the damage that some of your attacks and your specials do. This game has a lot going for it. It's an action RPG. It's an approachable one. They got many different ways you can play it. There is a multiplayer element to this game now. I'm not sure if this is changed during the game's live play, but I played a little bit of the multiplayer with Gaming Addict. I was struggling on the boss. Added Addict to the game. He helped me get through the boss. We beat him, and after he left, it didn't save my. It saved, but it didn't save, because after he left, I still had to do that boss fight all over again if I wanted to progress. So you kind of have to determine if you're gonna get through this game just playing multiplayer, or if you're gonna get through the game playing solo. So hopping in and out of multiplayer doesn't really benefit you, because if you get to a boss, you call in somebody for help, beat that boss, and once that person leaves and does his own thing, even though your game will still remain, it doesn't save, nothing carries over. As far as the progression doesn't carry over, and you are forced to fight that boss again if you wanted to do a solo run. So that was, to me, a knock against the game, because obviously coming off a game like Elden Ring, where, you know, you get people hopping in and out, and it doesn't negatively impact your progress, or, you know, you're able to almost essentially beat the entire game with people, or at least portions of the game with people. In Elden Ring, in this game, you kind of have to determine whether you're going to go and co-op, and what's the likelihood of you spending 40 plus hours in co-op? Not likely. Now, this game, you also have to get to a certain point before you can get the ability to go online. Like most of these games, you have to get to a certain point. This game does things well. I like the combat. I like the stage setup. I like the presence. I like the enemy types that they throw at you. They change it up a lot. You're never going to fight every enemy the same. You're going to spend different ways fighting them. It forces you to use different mechanics, forces you to use different specials and abilities to pretty much do these boss fights. This is a game that, for a Souls player, I think most would like, and I think the the average player, like, you know, jumping in, for those who play like the games like Elden Ring and stuff like that, may probably have a better time with most of the game, because this game have different ways to play. It's very approachable, and then when it comes to the boss fights, it does get tough and gritty. It can be brutal, and especially with some of the boss fights that they introduce to you in the game. But I've been enjoying my time with it, and I can at this point give like a recommendation. Like I said, I won't give like a score for Wolong, because at the time of this video, I did not beat the game. I did not, you know, beat the last boss. I'm actually stuck on one of the hardest bosses, but all the hours I put in, 30 hours, I got I've beaten over 50% of the bosses. From this point on, I can easily recommend a game for people who are into games like, you know, Sekiro and like Neo. It's definitely up that alley, and I think it's, to me, in my opinion, based off what I played, it's one of the better ones. Sure, it got some of its struggles. I've dealt with a bug or two where beating beating a tough boss, I guess I never got it never transitioned to the cutscene or credited me for the W. The character just remained on the map kneeling, but the game never credited me. It never finished. It was stuck in a bug. I couldn't get out, so I was forced to quit. And of course, when I relaunched the game, I had to start that fight all over again. It took another 3 or 4 tries before I could beat him, and so that was very frustrating. So the worst thing that can happen with this type of game, if you catch in a bug in the middle of a boss fight or at the end of a boss fight when you actually complete it and not get credit for it, I'm not sure how widespread that will be. Hopefully that's patched out by the time that you guys get your hand on the game. But I got nothing but full recommendation for Wolong. It's coming out March 3rd, day 1, Xbox Game Pass. So for those on Xbox, there's not really much of a buy-in to this. But if you're playing on like PlayStation and PC, and you have experience with the games like Neo and Sekiro and stuff like that, this is definitely a high recommendation on my end. I'm enjoying it. But that's the video. Let me know what you think of my impressions of Wolong Fallen Dynasty, and are you interested in this game, and where will you be playing this? Will you be playing on Xbox via Game Pass, on PlayStation via PS5, PC, Steam, whatever? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and hope you guys enjoy. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I'm out of here. Peace.